What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out Comica's new microphone, the Traxshot. Let's get into it. Comica reached out not too long ago and asked if I would like to check out and review their new microphone, the Traxshot. I said, is it really different than anything else, or is it about the same thing that's just being produced? And they said, this is different, the design is different, the innovation is new, and I said, all right, send it out. I got it in the mail, and just looking at the packaging, I was already interested to really test this product out. We're gonna be checking out audio quality, durability, but first, let's unbox this, and then we'll go from there. If we dive into the box, you will see they provided a really nice padded carrying case to put everything inside. They provided two windscreens because the way this microphone is set up, it can separate, so having two windscreens is a must. Of course, you have your paperwork. You also have a charging cord provided, as well as two 3.5mm jack cords. One is for smartphone devices like tablets and stuff like that, and the other is for cameras. Then if we get to the hero of the show, which is the Traxshot shotgun microphone, if we take a closer look at the microphone, you can see there's a really nice display on the background, as well as two clickable buttons and the gain dial on top. There's a headphone jack on the side of the microphone, as well as the other side. It's where the audio cord goes in, and you have your charging port. Underneath, you have the cold shoe adapter connected to the shock mount. You can see by looking at the top of the microphone, they have guidelines set up to show you where you need to set the microphone. So then when you click the button on the back to set the microphone at the range you're shooting at, you know everything is lined up. And that is the entire Traxshot kit from Comica. I'm now vlogging on the Sony a7S III. I've got it about a foot away from my face with the Traxshot right above the camera. I've got the gain set to about a 3, I believe, and the camera about 50%. This is just straight raw out of the microphone, no EQ done to it. Same setup about a foot away from my face, but now I did EQ it. So let me know, compared to the two of having EQ on or having EQ off, it does sound good, I think, straight out of camera, but adding that EQ normally gives it a little more punch and makes it sound just a little bit more professional. This is the microphone set straight on at me, so you can hear what it sounds like about 2 to 3 feet away from me at this moment. This is the same distance, but it's set at the 30-degree angle. If I walk over here, let's see if you can hear a difference. As if I walk over here, if it's anything picking up different on the speakers. Of course, probably listening to this on headphones, you're gonna be able to tell a difference compared to just listening to it on your normal speakers on your phone. Now I want to test out what it sounds like at the 90 degrees where the microphones is split. This is me talking. I'm going to continue the talk and walk over to the other side about the same distance, but it should be a difference going from one to the other on the microphone. Now, of course, I have no one else with me, but I do want to see what it sounds like where it's set forward and backwards. This is me talking in it, and let's say I was vlogging and I want to flip the camera around and explain something. Now, this would be me explaining my podcast set up with the microphone turned around. I can see the audio forms are picking me up about equal on my camera, but I am curious to what it sounds like when I get back on the computer. Let's talk about some pros and cons of this microphone. Pro number one has got to be that this microphone can cover 4 different ranges. I love that you can do just straight on, or you can do 30 degree, 90 degree, or do where you're doing forward and backwards and covering 2 things. That is a really smart design. Pro number 2 is it has a rechargeable built-in battery. I always prefer that over having to replace actual batteries in things. If there's any microphones that are genuinely coming out with a battery that you need to actually replace in it, they need to just step up their game. Everyone's doing rechargeable. It makes life so much easier. Pro number 3 is it has a lot of accessories with it, including that mobile cord that you can actually plug into a smartphone or a tablet, whatever you're wanting to do. That's a really nice accessory. Pro number 4 is it has a headphone jack that's built in the microphone itself. So if for some reason yours is broken on your camera, or it's being used by someone else monitoring it and you want to also monitor it, I like that it has that built in on the microphone itself. Pro number 5 is the sound is good out of this microphone. Again, it always comes down to audio quality, and this is a microphone, so we need to know that it sounds good. And I do think this microphone is good for the cost that it is. Now let's talk about the cons and the things that bothered me about this microphone. Con number 1 is it kind of bothered me that it doesn't turn on when I turn the camera on. I've used a lot of other microphones, competitors, that when you turn the camera on, it automatically kicks the microphone on, and when you shut the camera off, it shuts the microphone off. Not a big deal, but if you forget it, you're gonna start depreciating your battery really quickly when you don't realize that it's on. If you shut your camera off and just shove it in your bag or something like that, or just leave it on your tripod for a while, you're going to start depreciating that battery. So that is something to keep in mind. Con number 2 isn't the end of the world, but it does bother me a little bit. The cold shoe that holds the microphone, it's got like a shock mount on it, which is really smart. So it doesn't pick up, micro jitters or any of those sounds that are coming across it. The only problem I had with it is if I needed to actually move the microphone heads itself, it kind of moved the whole microphone. It didn't come undone, but you almost needed 2 hands to do it, which kind of defeats the purpose that if you're running and gunning or vlogging. So I almost have to like half hold my camera with one hand and hold the microphone with the other, and it kind of just becomes a little cumbersome. You can do it and it's not the end of the world, but it is something to mention. The last con is the audio quality is good like I mentioned before, but it is a little flat. I would prefer it to be a little more full. You can correct this in post. I just would prefer a little bit of a fuller sound coming out of this. And I tested this on multiple things. Obviously you heard the audio testing and you can make the decision for yourself. It does sound good in my opinion. I just prefer and lean towards microphones that have a little bit of a fuller, deep sound. Final thoughts on the Traxshot. This thing impressed me from the beginning to the end. Yeah, there's some cons and some quirks to it, but with every product there always is. I really like the design they went for. It's very smart that you don't have to always be recording behind you and in front of you. I like that you can, spread it to a 90 degrees. So if you're really trying to do some cool stuff with your sound, like someone's walking in and out of frame, you really can start to get creative with it. That's a very smart idea. So if you guys are in the market for an onboard microphone, I would definitely check this one out. Disclaimer, Comica did send the Traxshot out for me to review, but they do not see any of the videos I create before I put them up. It doesn't change my opinions. Everything that I'm saying is how I feel from my testing and my experience actually with the microphone. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment below, subscribe, do all the things. Thank you so much, Comica, for sending this out. I will see you guys next time. I'm the Iron Giant. Peace.
Yeah.